Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Plan and Traffic. And we have special guests here, the Martins. You all know them from Iron Resurrection. We got Ray from Motormouth Radio, nationwide show. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Great.
Going good. Hey, we appreciate you guys coming on. This isn't your first time playing in traffic with us.
That's right.
We just wanted to catch up with you and see what's going on with your show and any exciting builds.
Yeah, well, we're actually about to wrap up season 5, so we're pretty excited about that. Show's gonna start probably, I don't know, 2 weeks or something.
So it's going to be available on the app 1 week before it's available on TV.
Okay.
And so it's going to be available on the app. I believe it's Wednesday, June 9th. Yes. And then the following week, June 16th, it'll be available on Motor Trend on just the TV.
Sweet. Congratulations on the new episodes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So 5 years, man, time is flying.
You're not kidding.
Seems like 5 months, really.
Really?
Right.
Now, have they been keeping you busy? Like how many episodes is this season?
We did 10 hours for season 5. Yeah, so we got 10 episodes, and yeah, man, we're almost done. We got a few more weeks of shooting, and then man, we can take a breather.
We've been filming for about a year.
Yeah.
We're tired.
Yeah. It's a long process, and it's grueling, but it's been a great opportunity for us. So we're excited to be done for a while.
Yeah. Now, what's your, well, you can't really tell us what you built, huh?
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite build of the season?
Oh man. I should probably say it's the last one, because then we don't have to build for a while. But
you're kissing it and everything, huh?
Yeah.
I think we've got something for everyone this season. I mean, we always get told that we don't do any Fords.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, we don't do any more Fords.
And
we
build what the customers bring us.
Yeah, we're waiting for people to step up with stuff. So we got some Fords in there this season, so we're happy about that, man. And
we also finished a few projects. So we finished the 67 Chevelle that we started last year. And then we finished the 36 Hudson that you saw kind of some pieces being made last season. So there's a couple to get finished too.
Yeah, that's a question everybody like myself asks, is how do you get the cars that you actually build? Are they commissioned by you, or do people come and petition you? Or they drop out of the sky, you see them in the parking lot,
all the above, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
okay.
mainly we do a couple of our own cars in there, but mainly they're customer cars. So, we go through the whole deal of, making sure the customer's cool with the car being on TV and having to deal with all that stuff. But they're mainly, customer projects.
There's a process that we go through, though. He's oversimplifying. I mean, we basically, thank you to the TV show. I mean, we really wanted to do the TV show for its marketing that we could never afford on our own. And so that was the whole goal with it. And it's really worked. And we get emails, phone calls, people walking in. And so the way that we go through it is basically Joe will sit and talk with the customers. And there's some things that we have to make sure that they are comfortable with. Number one, being on TV. Number two, because it's a TV show, we throw a lot of our resources at those builds. So may have like 5 guys at a time working on the car. So those hours can add up. So you're going to spend the money that you would normally spend over a 2 or 3 year period in probably a 1.5 year period. So you have to make sure the customers are comfortable with that. And then, Joe likes to make sure that he likes to keep it interesting. So he typically doesn't want to build something that he's already built on another episode, unless there's some kind of crazy modification that he's doing to it that wasn't done before. So that's another factor. And, that's kind of the special ingredients there on how we decide what we're going to do.
Nice. We were, me and Ray were talking before you jumped on, how we love the biker build-offs. Have you heard any rumors or anything about the bikers build-offs coming back, or are you guys doing any building on bikes?
No, we haven't heard anything. I know when we first started, when we did the pilot of this show originally, we thought it'd be cool to do some bikes and cars, and the network's like, the bike thing's kind of dead. I mean, the bike thing's not ever going to be dead, other than maybe on TV to the general public. But we thought it'd be cool to do a little bit of both. But they wanted us to stick with mainly the cars. The car thing is what's strong right now. But we've heard that they may do a resurgence of bike stuff, and I know too, Motor Trend's done some bike shows. So I don't know. I mean, we've heard a little bit, but nothing really definitive, really.
Yeah. Now, have you built any bikes for yourself lately?
No, not really. We've, we don't have any time. We've just focused on the customer cars, and man, I wish we had time. I miss doing the bikes, because obviously the bikes are, a tenth the amount of work as a car. And, I mean, we love riding and, all that stuff. But, right now the cars are what's paying. So
you gotta go to money.
Yeah, I gotta go. You gotta follow the money, man. So
I hear you. Let's see. I got a couple questions for you that somebody emailed me. Okay, I had a question. What was your favorite car growing up? Joe, and then Amanda.
Oh man, I've had so many favorites. God, man, that's a tough one.
Or better yet, what car got you interested in cars? Like, what triggered you?
I guess I was about, 14 or something. My uncle, he was always into these big, Cadillacs, Buicks, and that sort of thing. And so I'd spend a little time with him, and he'd always he'd always have some, one of those cars, big Cadillac or something like that. And he kind of did the stock thing, kind of restoration, mild restoration, nothing too wild, just drivers and stuff. But he found a deal on a '59 Cadillac. And so one summer, while I was out of school, I went up there and we sanded it down, did a little paint job at his buddy's paint body shop. And we made had some old carpet we cut up and made our own interior and all this kind of stuff. And so that was kind of cool. I really got, bitten by the bug with, I love the big Cadillacs and Impalas and all that stuff. But at the same time too, I like the race, the race car stuff and the Camaros and the Trans Ams and the muscle car stuff. Mm-hmm. But really that '59 Cadillac was probably the thing that kind of, gave me the shot in the arm, as far as, wanting to tinker around and customize stuff.
I tell you, those 40s and 50s were the classy with the lines and the fins, and I mean, that's when they were really making cars.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, and it's an era that it's my favorite era. The late '50s into the mid '60s were probably my favorite era. And the designers of the time, and just the emphasis they took on the lines of the cars. And it still fascinates me today when I see these old cars and you look at the details of, how the fenders roll into the bumpers and just so many ornamental little details of those cars back then. And I mean, that was the norm back then. So I think people kind of overlooked it. They didn't realize how good they had it.
Well, people were designing for aesthetics back then. And these days they're designing for just efficiency, which is that's boring.
There's really cool. There's some really cool.
Yeah, you think of the people like Estes and DeLorean and even Lowy back in the day, who was doing everything from industrial, trains and refrigerators, and he was doing Studebakers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these guys were real visionaries, and they really designed that car. It was an art aesthetic. And,
that's exactly it, and that's that's what. I mean, it's always going to be, I don't care what age you are, you can't deny loving that style of car. And you know, the newer generation of people, you know, they're obviously digging the newer stuff, but man, you just, you know, the old cars, man, I don't care what age you are, they always turn your head and they, you know,
Like now they take these things, jelly beans.
yeah, exactly.
Jelly bean, and they kind of say, "Let's make a car out of that."
Yeah,
And you
melt,
can't tell
melt them
what.
down and make a car.
That's terrible. I know it's hard to think like, you know, you think, well, what, you know, in 30 years, what car from this era is going to be, you know, sought after? And I mean,
it's hard to imagine, what's going to be really the 69 Camaro or the 59 Cadillac.
right. It's just hard to,
But there's going to be one,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that, I think, last week on the show that, you know, you don't know what car is going to be hot in
No,
30 years.
Well,
No.
the other underlying topic is how will cars be restored? Will they be able to be restored to the way they were because of, you know, my point is the electronics, you know, unless someone's going to be remanufacturing modules, computers and connectors. I mean, those things are failing now, you know, perspective. So what's going to happen in 20 or 30 years?
I know it's going to be really interesting. You know, I think what's going to start happening is you're going to see people taking these old cars and doing the electric conversions to them.
Yeah.
That's my prediction, man. And I think the aftermarket's going to be really strong with the EV stuff. And you're going to see all these crazy horsepower electric conversions going on with all these old cars. And that's what's going to go down, man. And so, you know, it's good. It's kind of strange. I love the sound of these old cars and the feel of them. You know, it's part of the experience of an old car. But, you know, I think in the future, if you're going to want to own an old car and put it on the street, someday that thing's going to have to be electric, man, you know, or they're going to outlaw it. You're not going to be allowed to drive it around, you know?
Yeah, you got to keep it in a museum.
That's it. That's it.
That's crazy because I even like the smell of the gas. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. Those are all the experiences that we love of, you know, the cars. I mean, and the number one thing you think about is the sound, you know, a radical cam in a car and just that sound and
the smell,
and you know, that
everything.
sound lets you know too. Should I mess with this guy?
Yeah.
He's rumbling over there.
Exactly. I mean,
they'll
it's
type in the soundtrack. There'll be an audio track.
yeah, they're already doing that. Yeah, and it's I don't know, man. It's going to take me a while to get on board with that, but that's what's going to go down.
Right.
Yeah, we got to flow with it, like you said, chase the money, right?
That's it. Right. That's it.
Hey, Joe, I had a question come down the wire on this end. A fellow's asking if there's any changes in the cast and crew for this season, or is everybody the same?
No, we've got some new guys. Man, we've got
Tommy and Chad, and
Tommy's a new painter, and Tommy's a killer painter from Houston, and I've been trying to get him to come work with us for a while, and finally, you know, he's like, man, I want to get out of Houston, and I dig your area, and finally, man, he bought a house, and the guy's killer, man. He's like a Tasmanian devil in the paint booth, man. And we got Chad. You guys will see Chad on there, and Chad, he came from the Roadster shop, and he ran basically the fab department of the Roadster shop for, I don't know, 15, 18 years or something. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to just, move to Texas, you know, warmer climate. And so we're fortunate to get him. And I mean, that guy's just a fabricating wizard, you know, and everything, wiring. And, you know, dealing with the Roadster shop, he's dealt with, you know, top tier cars and customers, you know, his whole career. So, he's a great fit. Yeah, he's fantastic, man. And God, who else?
Ken was season 4.
Ken was there last year, and
that might be.
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 new faces, I guess. Yeah, you know, people always say, "Man, you know, who's on the cast?" And it's like, well, man, you know, a lot of people.
I think we have this like shop of imaginary people across the street working, and no.
It's a real functioning shop that just happens to have, you know, a bunch of cameras in our face, you know, and so, you know, just like any business, people come and go for whatever reasons, and we're always trying to, you know, you're always trying to find better people to work with, And now Justin was there last year too. So
all the seasons are running together.
so yeah, you guys will see some new guys and but you know, now we just feel like our crew's really getting dialed in and everybody's kind of flowing and man, it's just a great atmosphere, you know, no attitudes and everybody jives and it's been great.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Shag and he's always busy to come on my show. I tell him, hey,
really,
let me know when you can come on. I got to do my garage floor.
Yeah.
And there's all, you know what I mean? He's spending all that big money, so he can't come on the show.
Yeah. Shag's too busy, man. Yeah.
So holler at him when you see him. Tell him to get hooked up.
We'll get on him, man.
Yeah. All right, what we're gonna do is we got some people in the chat room. We're gonna bring them in, and you might know some of them, so we'll get them in, and they can shoot some questions at you.
All
Wait
right.
a minute, Amanda, you didn't tell us what your car was. You gotta tell us what.
You know, I wasn't really a car person like Joe growing up. I mean, I always liked trucks, of course. I was
gonna say that. I was gonna say trucks because I see a lot of them on your pages.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's my papa always had trucks we would go riding around in, and my dad always had trucks. And so, I mean, trucks are great. I always wanted the Carmagia, since I was probably 14, I wanted one of those. And everybody used to always say, well, I hope you know a good mechanic because those things aren't, always real reliable, just Volkswagens in general. And then, well, I hope you have a second car because, there may be days where that car won't make it into work. And I'm like, at the time I wasn't with Joe and, I had no one in my life like that. So I was always scared of it. And then season 2 or 3 or something, I got the Carmagia and I was so excited. And I actually ended up selling it this summer, but it was just great to fulfill that.
And that's what got her C10.
Oh yeah,
Silverado.
Love it. Yeah,
that's her new love.
Papa Squirrel in the chat room. His wife Debbie has Carmagia.
Oh, cool.
They're big.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're big Volkswagen people.
Really?
All right, we
love the Volkswagens, man.
Yeah.
Hi. What's happening?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's going
on?
This
Joker?
I was supposed to come out and see you. I was going to hang out with Shag. I guess it was in July. You guys were in Colorado.
Colorado.
Was it?
I'm trying to think. We went to. It was last summer.
Last summer, yes.
Probably Montana.
Oh yeah, good.
That's what it was. I'm sorry, it was Montana.
Yeah.
You said that because I was shooting an episode of Monster Garage out there in what's it called Dripping Springs.
Dripping Springs.
That's where we live. That's where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna come hang out with you guys. I talked to Shag.
That'd be cool.
He was telling me he's riding all over and everything like that. We're supposed to get together for barbecue, but like Lewis says, he was all busy.
Yeah, man.
He counting money, man. He's in the back room counting money.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
All those bikes that he got. But I'm coming out.
We'll take you to get some barbecue, man.
Yeah. Oh, I went to the one place over there. Oh my God, I forget the name of it.
There's so many places.
Yeah, there's so many places. I had shrimp and grits. I never had that before.
Shrimp and grits.
That could be several places.
Yeah.
They give you
in Austin.
Yeah.
Golly, I don't. Literally, there's just so many places. I could probably list 50 places, and it may not even be the one.
I tell you right now, they put some type of cream sauce with the shrimp and the grits.
Yum.
Boy.
I've never had that. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh my God! And I'm a country boy. I know about grits, but never have I had it like that, man. That was dinner.
Well, that's one thing that Austin does not have a shortage of is restaurants and good ones.
Yeah, they mix it up, man.
They do.
They mix it up.
Yeah.
I even went to Whataburger.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta go to Whataburger, man.
Major food groups.
That's like gourmet food to us, man.
Oh my God! Off the chain. They had a duck.
You know, California people,
Yeah.
California people, they say, hey, man, you got to go to In-N-Out Burger, man. Well, Whataburger's our In-N-Out Burger for Texas. You know what I mean?
We don't have anything. We don't have anything like that. Well, hold on.
No.
What's that burger place that we have here? Smash
White.
Burger. You guys got that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got
We got Burger King.
Burger King, yeah. We got that too, man. I think everybody's got Burger King, man.
Burger King, yeah. Home of the Whopper.
That's right. That's right.
But
So
I
listen,
hit up Texas
Culver's.
is beautiful. I love Texas. Texas is beautiful.
It is, man. We especially Central Texas. You know, it's kind of got some hills. You know, it's got some nice lakes.
Mhm.
Good places to ride. You know, and the car culture's strong here, man.
Oh, it really is.
It's
People
beautiful.
love their cars, man, and we dig it.
No.
Yeah. Me and Terry are trying to get some sponsors so we can go on the road and hit all our friends across the country.
Oh, that'd be awesome, yeah.
That's awesome.
So if we can get down your way, we sure will stop.
Yeah, stop it
Yeah,
off.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Chassis Jones in the house.
We got Chassis John up in the corner.
What's
How you
happening?
guys been?
Good,
Good.
good.
How are you?
Working,
Yeah,
building.
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's one thing that hasn't suffered during COVID is anybody that's building cars or has anything to do with building, all the vendors, all that, they're all just having like record-breaking years in
It's
sales.
the strangest thing. It's every
Yeah.
shop, man. Every shop needs help. Every shop,
Yep.
can't get parts, man. It's crazy. It's a
crazy.
weird time, man.
Parts has been a pain in the neck, and
Yeah.
customer service has been a pain in the neck.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Have you guys had to call Holly in the last year?
Well, yeah. If you want to, you got to sit on the phone for about an hour, man. You know, but
Yeah.
we got a
I
guy
found
that.
a secret to that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
There's an older gentleman who comes on at night.
Oh man.
Oh.
I'd call at like 8. This is the second of 3 cars that I'm doing, and I'm working in my garage. I had some issues with a Holley EFI system, and I wound up getting this older gentleman, and he says, best thing you could do, call me directly at like 8 o'clock at night.
Oh man.
Got the hookup.
He stayed on the phone with me and literally set up the 7-inch digital dash and modified the EFI, the whole deal. He was on the phone with me live for an hour and a half.
You know, that's a guy who loves his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that was Johnny's Maytag wearman, you know, the warehouse guy Maytag commercial.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
So what do you guys think about SEMA this year? I think it's going to be off the hook because people are being built up.
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy because there's, obviously the cars didn't make it last year. Those cars are going to be there, man. It's going to be crazy,
People are
man.
lazy. They want to get out. They're sick of being at home. Sick of everybody wants to get out.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man.
I think it is.
Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm driving over. I'm gonna meet up with some of the other people driving, so we're all gonna caravan over.
Yeah, yeah. It's always a good road trip, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to A-team kidnap Ray over there. You know?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Ray's never been there.
No.
Oh really?
That's
You don't know what you're missing. You gotta go.
Man.
And he's talking. Look, he teaches at the community college, right? We're telling him call off sick, man. Just call off sick and we'll go.
There you go, man.
forward to my nearly closing in on retirement.
Oh man, we'll bring some comfortable shoes, man.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Do some Heelys.
Right?
Listen, one year I rented one of those scooter things.
Oh,
you did.
Oh yeah, listen, it was about 10 of us. We rented them, man. We were all down the strip racing and jumping.
Lewis, don't tell me you rented a hover round, man. You didn't have a
Man, look, my feet hurting, man. I'm
telling
getting
you,
old.
It's crazy. I mean, your feet are hurting so bad by the end of the night. You just want to go sit down and you don't want to get up.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
until the next day.
Well,
Did you guys read that, they opened up another pavilion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were building it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
On that one main street that you walk up, what's that street?
Yep. I know
Right at the
exactly
main gate.
Yeah.
It's right across the street.
Yep,
I think it's touching the strip.
Yes. Yeah, I think
It's
so,
pretty-
man. That's what I heard.
it's
That's gonna be
pretty big.
crazy, man, because they're gonna
Yeah.
need the room, man, because I'll tell you, it's gonna be twice as many people there. I bet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I read somewhere that they said they're tripling the size of their new product display this year.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
going to be that's like half a day just to walk that.
Oh man. Well, you can't see it all. That's so you have to pick what you want to go see and go try to find it, man, because it's
Well, even in 3 or 4 days, you can't see it all. I mean, it's
No.
just impossible.
Yeah.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
no.
Listen, one year for my magazine, I brought a young guy out. He was my camera guy. And when I tell you he went through every building and shot every car, I still have pictures I haven't even seen yet because it was so much on my – he like hit every building.
How did you do that? That's crazy.
I couldn't believe it, man. He was sweating at the end of the day, but, man, he wasn't playing.
I mean, you have to be like strategic if you want to do something like that.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, just start on that building and catch me when you're done. Man, I'm telling you, he would hand me stacks of memory cards.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. It's gonna be
we're
crazy.
I think we may have a car or two in the, in some, one of them in the House of Color booth or Sherwin booth. Sorry.
Actually, the 36 Hudson that you guys will see this season. It'll be in the House Color booth.
Nice.
And,
it's called the Sherwin
Williams booth, but Sherwin owns House Color and all these other companies, so they got kind of consolidate the booth. But the House Color booth's always kind of the main attraction. It's always kind of flashy, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And
Then we're working on a Falcon that we're
we got
trying
a
to
65 Falcon that we're doing. That's maybe end up in the Ford booth. We're hoping. So
That'd be sweet.
we'll see, man. I think the real estate's going to be tight out there, man. It's going to be a lot of cars competing to get in on the floor space,
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I know it.
Yeah.
Is 65 still around Fender years, or did they already go square by then? On the Falcons?
Which cars now? You talking
on the Falcon?
The Falcon. The
Look,
Falcon,
wow.
the 65, is pretty square. It's pretty boxy. It's like the first generation Nova, and they kind of had that indented body line down the center of it. And but they're, to me, it looks like they're trying to compete with the Nova, so they kind of had the same, same kind of styling,
Yeah.
But it was, the years before on the Falcon, they were kind of rounded up a little bit, and then then they started looking like they're trying to compete with the Nova. To me, Oh man, there it is, man. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like you said, they are. It does look like a Nova. It does look like
It does. Yeah. It does.
Very similar in construction too.
Very similar. Yeah. Same.
With the integral fender wells, and it's an unboltable frame in the front with a unibody back. It was like it was like somebody was selling secrets back and forth there.
They must have been, yeah.
Well,
I guarantee
the
they're
making the money.
Well, you could take parts from the Falcon and put in the Mustang, just like you could take some stuff from the frame from a Nova and put in a Camaro. So
you're exactly right. Yeah.
A little.
It did have the underpinnings of the Mustang. Just like the biker build-offs we were talking about, the same fellow sent me a message asking if his idea that we thought would be cool is if there was any cross promotion between the Motor Trend crews. Like if you guys got a roadkill car and how to like fix it or make it better, or actually make it like reliable, and that's just the thought he had, that he thought that'd be kind of cool for, inter-series play.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because a lot of people, we hear that a lot. And, they've even talked about doing stuff like, kind of like the biker build off, where maybe you take, guys from the show, all the different shows, and have like a end of the year competition where maybe we're only allowed to spend 30 grand on this car, and do something like that. So there's actually been talks about integrating the shows. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool. We just got to, talk some of the folks into to doing something like that, man. But that's a really great idea. We've heard that quite a bit.
Okay, good.
You need a bean counter that can look outside the window, kind of, you know.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Because common sense, you can't watch every single show.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you'd spend all day long and all night long on your DVR watching stuff. You know, so
it'd be cross
promotion.
It would, yeah.
Is going to grab people.
Great, yeah.
You know, you're going to find people that watch your show, and then they're going to see something else and go, oh, okay, boom,
yeah,
I got to see that one too. You know, so I'm a big fan of that stuff.
Right.
It's really interesting because we've actually had people that are Motor Trend, hosts on other shows. And they're in town, they stop by, and we may be filming, and we will film with them, but that footage never makes it in our show for some reason. It's really weird. Like, we welcome it. We're just like, yeah, we got so-and-so or so-and-so, and they're on the Motor Trend channel already. Why not give the audience,
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because we get, a lot of people, I mean, probably 1 out of every 3 people say, oh man, I got turned on to you guys because I used to love the biker build off. And so it's crazy. I mean, the biker build off, if I wasn't on that show, we definitely wouldn't have this show going, because obviously we made connections there with the producers and stuff. So
sorry, dog.
We got our dog.
Doorbell.
The biker build off is the reason we're here,
Yeah.
And just because we met some good folks in the industry and production companies and that sort of thing, and that's what kind of gave us this shot with this show. And so the car people are bike people are car people. It's all, everybody's a gearhead, and to me, when you mix that stuff up, man, it just makes sense. And I really don't know why they don't do any more of that.
Yeah.
Well, I love the biker build-offs, and I loved you on the biker build-offs. And when I met you guys at Elvis's, the party at Elvis's,
yeah.
It clicked on me that you were the same person.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't connect the shows together. You know what I mean? I thought, okay, I'm meeting Amanda and Joe. And then the Martins, that just kept ringing in my head. I was like, the Martin brothers.
Yeah.
And then I put it together. I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Well, that's crazy because, that show was so popular. And obviously that show kind of, piggybacked off of, it was the same production company, all Jesse's shows, Motorcycle Mania and then Monster Garage. It was the same production company. And, Hugh King, Tom Beers, those guys that kind of, put that show together. That's what spawned all this crazy stuff. And so it's kind of weird when you look back how all that came together. And then the biker build off for us was huge. I mean, we were nobodies, and then, they put you on this pedestal, and it's a strange thing, but, I mean, we were very fortunate to get the gig, and, it obviously led to this show, and man, I think, they mix that stuff up some more, man. I think all it's going to do is just get more viewership,
Yeah.
Well, you guys definitely bring it. I tell you that. Woo.
Yep.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate, we try to be ourselves. We're not into the drama stuff and throwing wrenches, and, we try to, I mean, that stuff goes on in a regular shop, man. But, we try to, I mean, just represent, and
well, I think you're very humble, Joe. I think that comes naturally to him because he doesn't react to problems. He's a problem solver by nature. And so if you're a problem solver, then you don't really, it's not a big deal if something pops up that you're challenged with. You just figure out, oh, okay, we have this, now let's figure out how to get there, and so that's his approach. And it just, I think that it's refreshing to be on a show, to not.
That shows too. That shows your demeanor. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate, we appreciate that. We just, as far as, a car show, and you, at the same time, whether we like it or not, you're entertaining people, you know what I mean? And but at the same time, we like trying to be more educational, because you know, that's how I came into it. I was always trying to learn how to do stuff and learn how to weld. And, you know, back when I was, you know, young coming up, we didn't have YouTube and all this stuff to learn off of all these kick-ass shows now to watch and get inspired by. And, you know, so, you know, we don't want it to make it a dramatic thing. We want to make it more educational, kind of fun, and just keep it, you know, keep it, you know, keep it light and fun, man. You know,
I know I've learned about
comes
like
through.
I've learned about trash can M80s and snakes and
yeah,
spiders. And I've learned about a lot of cool stuff I didn't know about. Speaking about wrench throwing, I mean, that's something that always comes up. Have you ever worked or gotten any tool sponsorships from any of the?
we have. We've gotten plenty of tool sponsorships. We Mac Tools, Ingersoll Rand. Those are our main ones. Golly, man.
I mean, but we so get other, you know, we maybe not tools, but products, you know, like House of Color is really, really good to us, and US Chemical, Sada. I mean, it's just, we have a lot of really great people that support us.
Yeah. To me, that's like gold to me is, you know, free stuff is great, man. You know, and so, you know,
especially when it's a good product too. Like House of Color is no joke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wrong with that.
Well, I tell you, you know, Joe and Amanda, you know, like my videos, I pattern some of them after all the people who I respect, and you guys are definitely, you know, to a group of people who I pattern my videos after. And I thank you. I thank you for, you know, shedding the light and educating as well as entertaining.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Yeah, we appreciate it, and that's I mean, that's kind of what we enjoy doing, and we're fortunate to, like I said, have the opportunity to do this, and we're very fortunate. Appreciate it.
Now, if we talk
shows in the episodes you do,
yeah, totally. If we talk to the people at Motor Trend, where we can get, you know, like a whole collaboration where you guys can, like, you know, like crossbreed as far as like building. You know, it's got to be on regular Discovery, not Discovery Plus. It's got to be on regular Discovery.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I agree,
everybody's
man.
all shooting their services now, and it's getting to be a little too much, I think.
I know so many people who, like I said, I was on the Monster Garage episode, not the first one. They put it on regular Discovery. I was on, you know, one later on, and a lot of people, I'm not paying an extra $5 to watch an episode of Monster Garage. Why should I pay? I have it already. I got Motor Trend.
I spend a lot of money on cable, couple $100 a month for cable, and like you said, I'm not gonna spend more. It's like, hit the limit, man.
Well,
there's Ray. Ray is the average person. Ray is the person that I'm talking about, because I must have gotten. I mean, you can even see it in the credits in the review. People are just saying, I'm not paying $5. I'll wait for it to hit Motor Trend. I'll wait for it to hit. You know, so.
You're right. Well, you know, I think that's their goal. You know, is you know, Discovery and Motor Trend. They're trying to, you know, because that younger demographic, man, they don't watch TV and sit like our generation. All of us, we want to sit and watch it on the 70-inch screen with our brew, man, and
watch it on the iPhone.
So you got this younger generation. You got this younger generation, man. They want to watch it on their phone or their computer, and we need to bring those people in. And so I think that's kind of what their deal is. You know, the streaming thing is they're just trying to, they're trying to push that, which that's the wave of the future, whether we like it or not.
Well, it is. And to be honest with you, Joe and I decided about a year ago that we were going to just turn the cable off, because it was really expensive. And there was maybe one or two channels we watched. When we watched, we were always working. And so, we finally did, and I was really like, I don't know how this is going to go, but it's great. It's really freeing and liberating, and then you can get onto your smart TV, and if there's just that one or two, you know, let's say it's Showtime and Motor Trend or something, or Amazon and Netflix, whatever it is, you just join that and you pay that, and that's what you do. And I don't miss the TV, setup.
Miss the $180 a month cable bill.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I wish.
Yeah.
My cable bill's $330 a month.
Damn, man.
I'm around the same. I'm up around $300 a month.
Yeah.
Listen, when mine hit 150, I cut it off about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I have that Verizon Fios, and I've got like a really huge package with like 8 different Showtimes and HBOs and
Yeah.
NFL football and all of this sports
Yeah.
stuff. And let me tell you something. The majority, we just bought a big 82-inch LED TV. The majority of the stuff I watch is on a 36-inch. I have my computer is a TV also, so and everything's on DVR.
Yeah.
So I'm in the office watching on my computer screen what I've DVR'd.
Right. Yeah.
And my wife's watching all the stuff on the big one, but
Yeah.
my daughter, all she has is internet access.
Yeah.
She's got real fast internet access, and they stream.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they do not watch regular TV basically whatsoever. They just use streaming services, and I think they spend like $60 a month for the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'll
she's
tell
like,
you
"You're an
something.
idiot."
One of the things that I do is I'm on this influencer panel through Discovery, in fact, because I'm the guy who leaves comments all the time. I like to do that, and I like to give constructive criticism and praise people when they do something good. So I got on this influencer panel, and about once a month they send me a questionnaire. So I just got one yesterday, and it was all about streaming. It was just, first you had to rate how many of these services, like, have you never heard of it, have heard of it, or actually subscribed to it. And you can imagine, I didn't hear of a lot of them. I only subscribed to like 2 of them. And then the other ones, basically I didn't fit their demographic. So I only got about a little way through, and they said, "Okay, thank you. We're done with you."
Well, I mean,
But that's what I saw these names. Like had to be almost 25 of them. Like there's that many streaming services out there. Damn.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think we're at this time where it might not be 50-50 on people that are just watching apps and people that are still watching linear TV, but it's got to be pretty close to that, and at some point, it's just going to go all app.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. It's media overload.
Yeah.
It really is.
Too many channels.
I mean, when I look at my TV and I go through, there's like 1,100 channels.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get when you pay $350 a month.
Right?
Yeah.
1,100 channels.
I got like 980 or 1,000 or something like that. I don't know. And I watched about like 7 of them.
And
John,
I'm
we
so
can fix
old
that for you.
school. I'm
Yeah.
so old
Yeah.
school. I just figured out the other day how to broadcast my Amazon stuff from my iPhone to my nice big giant LED TV.
Well,
I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah.
But your big TV is a smart TV.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, it's a smart. So it has everything on it too.
The Amazon app should just be on there.
It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
But like I say, I just figured out how to actually put my phone on my television the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm like way behind.
Yeah, we can. John, you're out of control, man.
I was
Tell me
doing
about
like
it.
my pictures and my photo album
What
on
is-
the TV.
It's too many choices. It's like going to the store and trying to find barbecue sauce. There's regular barbecue sauce, honey mustard, and you got hickory. You got too many choices.
That's what it is, man.
Sweet
That's
baby
how
Ray's.
Yeah, it's too many choices, man. Because you sit down and try to watch TV, and you'll spend an hour. You'll spend an hour trying to flip through.
Yep.
And we thought when we cut ours off, man, we thought, you know what, man, we're gonna be lame. We're gonna be sitting there twiddling our thumbs. What the hell are we gonna do on a rainy night?
No.
But no, man, it's Netflix,
go straight
it's
to what you want.
Amazon. You got everything on there, and
It is. There's a lot. I mean,
there's
sometimes
still
I'm
a lot, yeah.
dozing off while he's still trying to find what he's
Yeah.
Got a Roku box, and we're good.
That's it. But too, it's like
Between
it's kinda,
Amazon and Netflix, those two, there's way too
Yeah.
much stuff.
Definitely.
and that's a problem too, man. Is you think about it, you got to kind of your show kind of has to hook those people. People's attention spans, man, they're
Gone.
they're gone, man. And you need to hook somebody in in 20 or 30 seconds, you know. And
If that, I say 10.
People are watching TV in a way different way now, though, because of the streaming, because of the devices. I mean, I think the first thing that we ever just completely, I mean, we used to watch it from first episode to last season. Last episode was Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Like it had already been
Big
it had
show.
already been canceled on the show, like on the TV. Like we had never watched it. Like people kept talking about it. So we get Netflix or whatever it was on, and we started.
watch.
And I mean, people binge watch now. So
Yeah.
we with that in mind, you know, if we go to season 6, we would actually like to start doing some 3-parters and some maybe 4-parters, and you know,
because the network at first, man, they're like, they want you 1 car per episode, and it's like, man, that schedule is tough. I mean, in the real world, there's no way, man.
well, it's hard to fit 44, all the fabrication and the technical stuff that we're trying, these guys are trying to help seep into the TVs of all these people. It's hard to get that in 44 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, me and my wife binge watch everything.
Oh,
That's-
yeah,
see,
that's it.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. If they want you to do 1 complete car per episode, then
Yeah.
you wind up like a lot of other automotive reality type stuff
Yep.
where you don't get to see what's really going on. It's like, here's the disaster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
here I am cutting the quarter panels off it.
Right.
And this guy's building a rear end. Oh, okay. We're sanding the car. It's going to paint. And the
Yeah.
next thing you know, the owner's coming up because you just took the car out and did a burnout with it,
Right.
and you're delivering the car. But you didn't get to see half of the build. That's crazy.
That's it.
Yeah,
And
but
that's,
you know what they would probably do? They probably wouldn't get really in depth with the car. You know what I'm saying? Right now,
But they're
you know,
going
you
to
guys
rush
look
you
at
through the
all
whole
in.
thing.
now going all in would mean a basic paint job and fixing. It wouldn't be like a custom. You know what I'm saying?
that's it.
Well, that's okay. So that's the other ingredient that I left out earlier when we were saying, how do we pick the car? So one of the things that Joe also has to do is make sure that it has enough modification that it's going to keep the customer interested, but it's not too much so that we can finish it in the network's time frame to deliver the show.
Yeah.
So that's another component.
That's the
To
problem
me,
of being a slave to the network in
well,
terms
that's the
of
thing.
what they want.
That's it. That's the thing. And I think sometimes the networks are a little out of touch with what we want to see. You know, everybody
Right.
here wants to see. And so to me, I want to see it more in depth. And so why not? To me, I always thought it'd be cool. Why not build 1 car through 1 season, or maybe 2 cars? And
Yeah.
because, you know, everybody's going to sit and stream it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to watch 3 or 4 episodes one night, then you're going to watch the next 3 or 4, and then the season's over with. So, I mean, why not do something really in depth where you see
lead 'em
all the
through.
details, you learn more, you know, you see more complete. To me, it's just, you know, I mean, we beat our heads all the time, you know, with the network trying to get them to see the light here.
Well,
But
because if
Yeah.
you watch Motor Trend, you didn't stumble on that channel. You're a car dude or dudette, and you want to see the process. That's what you want to see. So, you know, Motor Trend is just a different animal than Discovery, and Discovery owns Motor Trend, but Motor Trend is strictly automotive. So if you're on that channel, you're there to see the process.
Yeah.
Right. And the good thing is, if you were able to spread out 1 project for a whole season,
Wouldn't that be cool?
8, 10 episodes, whatever it was, think
man.
of all of the other places you can jump off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You guys use somebody to do your chrome plating, anodizing. Oh, well, now the camera's going there. Well, here's the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
We strip it, we polish it, we dip it, boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of branches on that
Yes.
tree, but it's try to get the bean counters to understand how much that means to the viewer.
You're exactly right. That's been our
I
battle
know.
ever since, man. And it's
Sure.
a tough deal. But you know, I got to say, you know, Motor Trend, they're kind of slowly seeing the light because you know, we're starting to do these split episodes just because we couldn't keep up with the workload, couldn't keep up with the schedule, you know, and the cars are, you know, we're not finishing the cars on time, and it goes way over budget for the network. Then it's like, why don't we cut our workload in half, man? Why don't you let us do two, you know, split 1 car over 2 episodes, literally going from 10 cars a season to 5. And it just makes sense. And so it's been working. Fortunately, you know, the show just keeps, I think season 4 last season was one of our highest rated. And so hopefully, and we did that, we did a lot of split episodes, and it relieved our schedule, man. And it's just so, so much less stress. And, but at the same time, man, the show was a little better. So it's a win-win for everybody,
Right.
I mean, I think people would even like to see like some, easy stuff like, hey, we're gonna convert this car to electric windows or rack and pinion or something like that. People would like to see that. I mean, other than coming back and it's all done and the windows are going up, and I think people would really dig.
You're absolutely right. And if you go on YouTube and see some dude, hey, I'm going to show you how to install a power rack in this car or something, and man, it'll have like 1.5 million hits, and it's like, what's wrong? Why don't these people, why don't you see what's going on here? And the most simple modification, most people that aren't into cars, that may just tinker on the weekend, they would love that kind of information.
They would. I mean, there's so many people that we talk to that come visit us at the shop or whatever, and well, I've been building this car for 20 years, and I think part of it is life happens, but part of it is they get to a certain point where it goes a little bit above their skill set, and if they could watch show, I mean, it's like people that have learned the hard way, giving them shortcuts on how to do stuff and where to go and who to call and where to order the parts. And, it's like Joe said earlier, I mean, you guys didn't have that back when you were learning. It was basically, you just learned trial and error. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where I come in.
That's me. That's it. That's how I learned, and that's it, man.
Started messing around in the 70s. There was nothing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's it, man. And
the problem at the end of the day, even with the instruction and the parts, you still have to have the mechanical aptitude. And that's it.
Yeah.
And the brain power to be able to make it happen. And you have to be smart enough to know when you're over your head and when to call in the lifeline.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys
when to go on YouTube.
I was gonna say I fixed a lot of those guys' cars. I know they're not that smart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even somebody like Joe, I mean, who's had years of experience. I mean, he's constantly YouTube watching Lassie metal shape, or just
you're always trying to learn something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not, you're always trying to pick up a tip, or how's this guy doing this easier, or what they do here, and I mean, you're just constantly learning.
Different levels of where someone is in their expertise of the car.
Yeah. Absolutely.
My problem is I watch so much YouTube. I'll say, okay, I need to go back and see this video I watched a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Well, when I go back in my history, I've watched 30 or 40 videos in between that.
Right.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm like addicted.
Man.
You can delete those ones that are in the history so that it kind of keeps the good ones closer together. But I made folders. Right. I made folders on YouTube so I could just save videos into folders, just like on my computer.
There you go.
But you think of how much content's on there, and people still starving for it. So I mean, there's so much people out there loving that content and learning that stuff that, I mean, it's infinite, and man, I think I think with this streaming stuff, to me, the shows can be way easier to put together, way more entertaining, way more educational, and easier on people like us trying to put these things together, so man, I got
it opens up an avenue for sponsors.
You're exactly right.
That's something that the bean counters may not be realizing, like Terry was saying, we're going to convert this car from manual windows to power windows.
Yeah.
So you bring in a company that does that, and they've got a representative at your shop on camera. Boom. They're giving you all of this stuff, all of the material to do that job, which is something that either the owner is not paying for or production's not paying for. Yes. So now all of a sudden their money's getting less and less that they're spending. They just need to figure that out. But I don't know. I guess
and that's what I'm saying.
Some of these people you can't talk to.
Today we got New Relic. They make electric windows for just about any muscle car in. And the thing is, what people don't understand is YouTube. Okay, YouTube is forever. YouTube is forever. So 5 years from now, someone's going to look up, New Relic and a Chevelle. So they're going to come through and they're going to see Coverman 66 installing an electric window, and that's more biz for New Relic.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Right.
I know it, man. That's it. You're exactly right. I mean, that's where it's going, man. And I mean, you could monetize that, you know. I mean, there's just so many.
Yes.
It's infinite,
Well,
man. It's infinite, you know.
I don't know if you guys know that this is a celebrity. The Coverman 66. He's the YouTube celeb. He's like the world famous. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Put that beard down.
Coverman 66.
He's
There's,
way ahead
there's,
of the game, man.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people making a lot of money off of YouTube. Ask
Oh,
Cletus
There
McFarland.
is.
Cletus
Good
McFarland.
God, if I had time to do it, I mean, I really need to do it, get it Martin Bros set up. And we do have a channel, and we have one video out there, but you know, I was all gung ho, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to shoot this stuff in the shop, and then I'm going to teach myself how to edit it, and then I'm going to put it out there. And I bought the editing, you know, I bought a new computer, and I bought the editing stuff, and I'm like, sit down, I'm shooting all this stuff, and I'm like, this is really hard and really time consuming. I mean, it's really time consuming.
It's
Well,
a
I'll
lot
tell
of
you right
work.
now, for every let's say 7-minute video that I put together, man, you're looking at like
Hours and hours.
Hours. you got to shoot it. First, you got to think about it, what you're going to
Yep.
do, and then you got to shoot it, set the scenery, then go back and edit it, and then you got to live with it. I live with it for about 2 days before I post it, because usually you're going to have, well, I could do better, and then you go back and re-edit
Yeah.
it. So for about every 7 minutes, you're looking at like maybe 30 hours for one video.
Oh,
yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
I decided really quick I didn't have time to do it. Well, then I start pricing it out, you know, and oh my gosh, it's expensive to get people to do that for you. So I'm kind of in a pickle right now, because I really want us to do something like that. But we are a true mom and pop shop. We don't have, you know, I don't have the budget to pay somebody, you know, thousands of dollars to do a 2-minute clip.
Yeah.
You can get that.
Right.
Before, when this is over, we'll get in contact with each other, because you guys are set up where you guys could just do like 3-minute clips real quick, and they will go very well. Just
that'd be awesome.
iPhone.
And you know, you could do that
Yeah.
stuff on your iPhone. You could
Yeah.
take pieces. You could take pieces of video,
Yeah.
and you can edit it and put it together and have scene changes. You could literally do a complete movie or a quick little thing to just blast out there, all on your iPhone.
Yeah,
I don't even think
so I
you can do
did
that.
one. I did one
iMovie.
actually. It was a piece that we were making for a 41 DeSoto, and we have this really awesome Lone Star Cutting Solutions plasma table, and so we featured a little piece where, you know, we were making for I think it was the rear package tray. Anyways, and I did it. I you know, I shot it. I edited on, you know, on an app on my phone, and it was okay, you know, but it's like, dang, you know, there's just some really cool content out there, and I would like it to look a little more polished than what I can do.
It's a
See, I
matter of
think you
learning.
guys can get
Because
away
I
with
was-
it, but
I was having a party a couple of years ago in my backyard. I got a tiki bar, and my buddy Evan, he's like, oh, check this out that I just uploaded to YouTube. And I'm like, how'd you do that? He goes, I did it on my phone. And I'm like, how do you do that? He goes, give me your phone. He takes my iPhone and he scrolls through and he finds photographs and a couple of little video clips. And I swear to God, 5 minutes later, he goes, here you go. And he literally made a movie out of stuff that was on my phone, edited it. He went on the internet and he grabbed some sort of background music to kind of make the whole thing look whole. And he did this, I swear to God, like maybe 5-7 minutes. And then he handed my phone back. He goes, here, watch this. He goes, post it. You should post it on YouTube. It was a whole bunch of my car stuff. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
And see, the thing with you guys are already doing the work. So all you got to do
every day.
what you feel is really cool. Just videotape it, and you really don't even need to do anything except just post it.
because you're already popular, you
You
already
already
have.
got a name. So it would be cake for you. Like I said, afterwards we'll touch base and we'll do it.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we need to figure that out, man.
We
Because
do. Like I said,
there's so much.
The channel, we have a video out there, but there's just so much more we could be doing with this.
Yeah.
I have one video on my YouTube too.
It's a thing, you know. It's a trend.
Yeah.
You know, the last time you guys were on, you're my highest numbered guest.
Viewership.
Oh, man,
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it
That's
up.
awesome. That's
Yeah, I
awesome,
mean,
man.
you're already popular. People will click on your stuff just because it's you.
Sure.
What is your YouTube
Man,
channel name?
Do what?
What is your YouTube channel name?
Who you asking, me or them?
See, that's how bad I am. I don't. I
Yeah,
couldn't
Martin
even.
Rose
I
Customs,
think
I
it's
think,
Martin
yeah.
Rose Customs, though. I really do.
Oh, let's see.
Joe, another question came down the line. You know, what we see on TV is one thing, but how many other projects or jobs are going on in the shop? We never get to see the whole shop, I don't think. So how much else is going on?
There's probably 20 cars going all the time. And
We're not billing 20 cars a week. I mean, because there's some cars that we get to a point we're waiting on parts, or, you know, one guy in the shop may have, you know, 2 projects he's working on, and he bounces in between them depending on, you know, because they may move around a little bit, you know, for somebody else. But yeah, we probably have 20 cars in the shop right now. That
also too, you know, a lot of times the coolest stuff is the stuff we can't put on TV because we won't be able to get it done in time, you know. And so some of the cooler stuff we can't shoot it, and because it would never make the schedule, and you know, obviously we're trying to pick cars.
On YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly it. You know, we definitely need to take advantage of that. But yeah, so yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff going on that never gets seen, and we have 3 other buildings too that you know, we shoot in that main building most of the time, and we've got other buildings, but you know, the ones interior shop and then the body shop, and it's, you know, it's loud and stuff in there, so the cameras don't want to go in there and see all that stuff. But so yeah, there's you know, fortunately we got a lot of good stuff going on. It's just we can't cover it all, you know.
Well, the shop that you do shoot in is great. It's very well lit. It's, you know, it's set up right. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, you know, the crew's good. Our crew's great. The
production crew.
Yeah, the production crew. They'll light it up if it's, you know, on a dark day or whatever, and they'll light it up good, and you know, they basically make us look good, you know.
The new building that you'll see this season, we built it in between seasons. When COVID hit, was right. We were supposed to start shooting like, I don't know, like a couple of weeks after that, and so they kept putting it on hold and postponing when we were going to be shooting, because everybody kept thinking it was just going to, you know, be a month or 6 weeks or whatever. And then finally they decided, okay, this isn't going to be a quick thing. So we started shooting, but we threw the building up in between.
Okay. Yeah, we all thought it was going to be, you know, 4, 6, 8 weeks and be done.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been interesting, but man, I'll tell you what, it's the work is just, you know, like I said, everybody we talk to in the automotive industry, man, they're just slammed with work, man, and it's crazy. And, you know, like I think all these aftermarket companies are doing good because a lot of people were home tinkering with their projects, you know, and spending money, man. And fortunately, people are home watching TV, and man, we've you know, we've done some really good numbers on the ratings just with reruns, man. And it's crazy. But it just goes to show everybody's sitting around and, you know, getting stir crazy, man. And you know, gearhead people are going to go work on their cars. They're going to watch car shows or whatever. And so it's actually been a weird deal for us. It's been actually really good, other than we haven't been able to go to any shows and, you know, do, you know, go to, you know, car, you know, do appearance stuff and that sort of stuff. That's been a bum deal, but man, it's we had no idea it would, you know, work out like this.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to set up, I don't know where yet at SEMA, but we're going to set up an interview booth. So I'd love to have you guys come by. And
Absolutely. Count us in, man. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll probably meet up at the Motor Trend party, because I sneak in every year.
I don't know what they're
Nah,
going
I'm
to do
done
this year.
with this, man.
I'm not sure that's even happening. I mean, we'll see. But I asked them the other day, and they're trying to figure out what level they're going to be
what they're going to
involved
do.
with SEMA.
Yeah.
They're going to be there, and but I just don't know.
It's going to be balls to the wall, man.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, man.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy this year.
Well, they got good finger foods, man. I got to sneak in and get my finger
They do,
foods,
man.
so.
They do.
Man,
They
don't
do
play.
it up, man.
Yep. Let's see. We got any questions in the chat room?
Arco and Heidi's in here.
Okay, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So if anybody wants to ask a question,
I'm trying to find. Is it Jason? No, it's not Jason Martin. Well, yeah, it is.
That's his brother.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he does, man. Yeah. Yeah, he does all kinds of stuff.
I think I found it.
Yeah.
So I've noticed Shorty's been posting some new stuff on his channel too.
Yeah. He's, I think he's, just like everybody else trying to, have an outlet for material, and so I think a lot of people, I guess other than us, but is, putting material out there and
to be in control of your own content.
It really is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have all the control. And I think our thing is just we shoot TV all day long, and it's the last thing we want to think about when we come home and put together some YouTube stuff. But it'd be smarter of us to do really it,
smart,
but yeah, I mean, I think, everybody's taking advantage of that stuff, man. And it's really cool.
Yeah. So
I think it's very extremely well. So like I said, little quick videos. That's all you need. You don't need like 20.
Exactly.
Videos.
Yeah.
Little quick videos. Pop them up there.
Instagram videos.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm new to that one too. Blame Ray.
A lot of people like the videos over still pictures, and so we try to put videos out on our Instagram. It's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Or maybe every once in a while go live.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That would be real nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Go live on.
We really need to
You
do.
can go live on YouTube. You can go live on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's the thing. There's a couple of feeds I watch regularly on YouTube, and two of these guys do live feeds. One does it. It was Sunday. Now it's Wednesday and Sunday, and another guy does it sporadically. But the problem is, he's sitting there and he's looking at his computer, trying to look at the comments, and they literally scroll like a ticker tape. And I find it to be so boring and obnoxious. It's like you don't really get to talk about anything because he's trying to interact with the people who are watching him.
Yeah, that's a fine line.
It's incongruous.
Yeah.
You got to have someone reading those questions while you're trying to talk, and you can't answer them all. You just can't.
If one guy does, his wife will pick out the good stuff or things that she thinks he wants to answer. And again, it becomes this choppy question and answer thing. It's not really an interplay. So I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a big fan of the live unless it's done a different way, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, in their case, they would do it live right there in the shop while they're building something.
Right.
So, that'd be pretty hot.
Yeah.
That's like like what Arco does when he does stuff out of his shop and he's doing it as he's live doing it. That's
right. Yeah.
That's more, I think it's more in tune with the way we like to watch stuff and learn.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I have people asking me to do that with the car, but I can't. If I'm working, I can't be holding the phone and talking.
Exactly.
It also has to do with how many people you got, asking questions. I mean, like, if you got like 20 questions going up at like a second, there's no way you could possibly answer them. And,
Right.
So when you get to that point, you can't answer any questions. You can go back later on. You may want to answer the questions, but I think most people understand. Hey, listen, because they can see the questions going up.
Right.
Sure.
Not only that, John, you're exactly right. Because a couple of years ago, the guy that does our internet stuff and media stuff for us, he was asking me, "Hey, you're at the shop, you're working on cars. You tell me about the stuff you post in the pictures. You got to do video." I said, "Well, how the hell am I going to rip this front end apart and hold a phone and a camera?" He goes, "Well, how about a tripod?" I said, how many
Tripod,
times
yeah,
the tripod would be on its freaking head? I'd be on my ass to answer the kettle. I said, nothing to be. I'd be in an emergency room. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I've had people tell me, look, you got the camera set up. I'm looking at the back of the Firebird here. Turn it on. And I'm like, I can't because I'm walking back and forth, scratching my butt, picking my nose, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're working. You're not.
Oh, we
I
want to
can't.
see that.
I can't entertain you. In other words, you can't be the fly on the wall to watch me
Right.
doing what I'm doing,
Hey,
going back and forth. You know, trying to fish mouth the tube to fit on the roll bar. That could be a couple of passes to the notcher, a little hand grinding here and there.
Right.
How can that keep an audience? You know, I can't
Right.
see.
You'll be surprised.
Believe it or not, it probably does. Because I mean, the more realistic, you know what I mean? I think people are
Yeah.
entertained by just that rough, real life thing going on. And
Right.
they're actually, they're have an insight into what's going on in your shop, and they are literally a fly on the wall, man. And
Right.
I think people really dig that aspect of it. And where you have this polished TV show, all edited up, and you know what I mean? I think people are more fascinated with that fly on the wall thing, man, where it's rough and it's,
That's another thing that's a fine line though. I mean, because like for us, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we go live, you kind of have to think that one through before you do it, because like the big shop it's 6,000 square feet, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's, to walk from person to person to check on what they're doing. And it's like that downtime of walking across the shop or the driveway or down the, and then you walk up and they can't hear you because they're welding. So you have to stand there and wait for them to stop welding, or, you do have to think about it a little bit.
I totally understand that. When I had my chassis shop in New York, it was 8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And to get from one end of the shop to the other, that's a hike.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
One big building.
You gotta pick and choose. Like one of the highest ones that I did when I went live was when I started my blown Trailblazer SS. Now I was just turn the cameras on, like I forgot to hook one side of the battery up. It was loose, so that they saw that. So I went and I tightened it up. The car, we got ready to start it up. And while it was I sat there and I told them this is what's going to happen. When I start this truck up, immediately I'm going to get that thermometer. I'm going to shine it on the collectors to make sure that this car is not running too hot. And I explained before I actually started up what's going to happen. You're going to see me make sure that the water pump on the supercharger is working. You're going to see me running around. You're going to see me making sure the temperature is right. Make sure the fan. So I explained it and I went, and that was pretty good. People were like, thank you for telling us exactly what you're doing. And that something like that was pretty simple because, like I said, they're rare. The car's not moving, and I'm just doing that moving. So it was. But if I'm doing something where I'm up under the car now, I got to move a camera down there, and exhaust, and okay, I got to move the camera back there. That could be.
You need that headband with the GoPro on it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Now, was that one of your highest numbers, Terry?
It was for going live. It was one of them. Yeah.
That's
for
cool.
doing, I only do a few where I go live. I mean, I did the whole what was it? The Pinks All Out when I was down there. I went live. So that was kind of cool because I got to talk to, like they see all the cars and all that. Put the camera on Shannon Sharp or Shannon, what's it called? Shannon Poole. Shannon Poole, Go talk to Basone, so people were like ordering me what to do. I was like, hey, Basone, they want to talk to you.
Yeah,
we're live.
So, that was kind of cool. But but if you're not all over the place, it's kind of cool to do a live thing, but it's really like Amanda says, you got to think about that one, and it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
When I've gone to, because they have that winter testing here in Florida before everything really starts. So all the pros wind up down here testing.
Right.
So I'll go to Bradenton, which is where all the door slammers are going to be testing Pro Stock, Pro Mod, Comp Eliminator, stuff like that. And I'll go live on my Facebook, and I'll get 300 people watching.
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
scattered
Yeah.
all around the country and there's 10 inches of snow and they're freezing their butts off.
And
And
you're in
here I am
Florida.
walking around Florida, shorts and a t-shirt, and they're
Yeah.
getting to see all of the NHRA and the PDRA, pro guys out
Oh yeah.
testing at Bradenton. And it's like everybody jumps on my page and they're like, whoa, they get all crazy. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
yeah,
good,
that's
but
cool.
it's not doing anything for me.
Well, hey guys, we've had you guys on here for an hour and 16 minutes. So
Damn.
I know you had a long day. I'm sure you did. So listen, what we do is I jump off because I got to get up early because I'm like a little kid. I got to get up early.
Yeah.
But
I'm past my bedtime too.
Yeah. We have the after show. Ray takes over the after show and they talk about whatever. I don't know. I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys coming on to
Thanks for
visit with
having
us.
us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. We'll
I
hook,
tell
we'll hook
everybody.
up in Vegas too, man. Yeah. Do that.
Oh yeah,
do your-
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely Vegas.
Yeah, we'll
That'd be
get
really
together. Holler at Shag for me. And,
We will literally stream that Shag for you.
Yeah.
No, that's my man. He's a good dude.
Oh, no, I'm just
We,
Yeah, I love Shag.
our
He's
time schedules just
very nice
get mixed
guy.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I gotta also go because I have a 6-year-old that should be in bed, but he's not. I'm seeing him
Yeah.
run
Yep.
around.
Oh,
Thanks for having us, guys. You
Yeah,
guys
we
have a
appreciate it.
great night.
Yeah, you too. Anytime you want to come on to share anything that you want to, put out there, please come back and visit.
Okay.
You're welcome anytime. You know
Yeah.
your family, so
Yeah.
Joel and Amanda, I'll be in touch with you guys for that YouTube.
YouTube.
We'll
Yeah.
be,
That
we'll be,
sounds great.
Okay, cool.
Sounds great.
All right.
Looking forward to it, man.
Oh, you know what I got to tell you before you guys leave? I was talking to Ray the other day, and we were talking about you and the show and the whole deal. And then we got on the subject of Shag. And I'm like, I said, he doesn't even work for them, yet he's on the show, and he gets to hang out with Amanda all day long.
Yeah.
He's got, like the perfect
Yeah. He's
job.
lucky, man. He's got the ultimate gig, man.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that song by Rod Stewart? Some guys have all the luck.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Shag.
hey, but I tell you what, he knows some people though. He knows who to talk
man, he
to.
does.
Well, he was in the promotion business, right? Is that kind of like what he was
He's a
doing?
marketing guy.
Yeah, he's a marketing guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to do some stuff for us, and that's kind of how we met him. And yeah, that guy, he knows a lot of people, man.
Yep.
Cool. Very good.
nice.
Right, people. Hey, we enjoy you, and we're
Yeah.
gonna share this on YouTube and everywhere, and all the good stuff.
Thanks.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, I'm out.
All right, Lewis.
All right. Thanks,
See
Lewis.
you next week. So where's my?
They are
Oh.
always fun on the show.
Look
Two
who
times.
appeared.
2 great shows.
Sitting away.
Yeah, look at that, huh? Would you trim up?
No, he had
It's
no
just grown.
he had no beard
Oh.
yesterday.
Oh, you had
and now
nothing.
he's-
Oh.
Now he's got a beard.
That's in
No.
a day? Day and a half?
2 days.
2 days? Wow.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, man, you're like a woolly mammoth.
Yes, he is.
It is. What's going on, guys?
Brian, good to see you, man.
Just braving the weather. Oh, my God. The rain was insane today.
Yeah. I was telling Lewis we had to. I was in the city today because I had my younger daughter's graduation in Central Park,
Mm.
and originally they said we were going to be in pods. There were 3 of us: my wife, myself, and her. So I'm thinking that like little clear igloo thing, and they still wanted you to wear masks. I'm like, we're outside. It's Central Park. We're
That's
vaccinated.
crazy.
Well, they eased off, and there was no pause. It was just sets of 3 chairs. But luckily, we got away with the, with the rain. We just got a little drizzle, but we drove in. So driving into the city is always fun.
Oh, I love driving into the city.
I got like 12 minutes till this thing starts, and we haven't parked yet.
Oh,
And
boy.
We're like, 69th and 5th, like the end of Central Park. It's this. I go to one lot that shows up, and of course, the big cone. No, they're closed. I'm like, oh,
Those
So
are
I
the ones
found-
you got to go in.
well, there was a big cone in front of it. It mean like it was
Yeah,
they
I do
were
that all the
cool.
time. When I go to the airport and I'm leaving the car and I have to go to the airport garage. So it's multi-level. So as soon as you go, you'll see like the first level, which is the closest one.
Right.
There's always a thing that says lot full.
Yeah.
I just go right around it because it may have been full when they put the sign there and then 80 people got off the plane and left.
Well, that's possible.
So there's parking spaces everywhere. I always go to the closed lots.
So I found a spot on Fifth Avenue, right there outside the park. It's funny because they had all these on multiple streets. The sign said, you could park from 9 to 10:30 a.m. and that's it.
Yeah.
And yet the streets were filled with cars. And I was like, and then there were double parked cars. So I said, listen, we're in a time crunch. I said, I'm parking it. I said, we're either going to get, if we're lucky, we'll get a ticket. If not, it'll be impounded and we're going to be like hitchhiking home.
Yeah.
So now we came out and there was a ticket on it. It's like, okay, so it's the cost of doing business. What are you going to do? But then we had to drive home, in the afternoon. It was like already after 3:30. And she wanted to go all the way downtown to the school to take a picture and whatever. And so I drive from 69th all the way down into the 20s on Fifth Avenue, which was a joy. And then, the scenery was nice. And then we had to drive all the way back uptown to catch. I want to take the Queens to the Queensboro Bridge.
Should have went to Roland Roaster.
Yeah, you know what? No, we were going to come home, meet my other daughter, her boyfriend. We were going to go out to dinner in Freeport. That's what we did. We went out to a seafood place in Freeport on the Nautical Mile. Then came home for a giant tiramisu cake that same that we had for the engagement. And literally, I'm finishing the cake. I'm like, all right, I got to go to work. I got to go downstairs. The show is starting in like 15 minutes. I got to go right down. I said, if I don't fall asleep tonight, I never will. Here, not.
The only way I could avoid the tragedy, because I haven't gotten this laptop fixed yet, is I got home about 5:30.
I thought it was fixed.
No, my friend is going to come and fix it.
Oh,
It's still doing what it was doing. So there's something in it is jammed up,
right?
But it runs. It just takes forever in other words, it takes forever to get to here. And then once it's fully loaded and everything is, I guess, on, then it acts like an absolutely normal computer.
Oh, okay.
So this is something that I had to learn because I was like flipping out that I would double click on an icon and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. So
it would load twice.
I turned the computer on and walked away and had dinner while it was booting.
That's what you got to do. Yeah.
Then I came back and it was on the screen where I would, click and then throw in my passcode to log in to that account. And I walked away for 20 minutes and did some paperwork. And then I came back, and when I double clicked on Google to open Facebook, it's boom, boom. And then Lewis sent me the link and I hit it and it was bam, no problem.
Right.
So if you're going to sit here and try and do something, it doesn't work. But if you turn it on and walk away for 45 minutes and everything, all the little check marks get knocked off and everything inside loads and whatever has to be running is running, then it operates. It's quick and fast like a regular computer. Yeah. So I don't know. It could be the BIOS. It could be numerous things, but
startup programs. There could be erroneous programs in the startup file that have to be cleared.
Well, I looked at that, and the weird part is you go into the diagnostics and you look at what's using percentage of memory,
right?
And almost nothing is running.
Yeah.
Everything's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And I'm like, well, then what is the problem here?
Yeah.
But my buddy says, don't worry about it. He goes, let's be smart about it. He goes, just go out and get yourself a solid state hard drive. He goes, and let's just load a whole new hard drive in it and be done with it. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Good deal.
So
what's up with Malcolm there this week? You sold a nice toolbox the other day, huh?
Bugs.
Yeah, had a toolbox.
Sweet.
So, and I got and then that was Tuesday, and Wednesday I had another guy come out and order another one. So that's what I did earlier. Just got that all
cool,
all ordered up. And
is that a 6?
No, it's another 4.
Okay.
It's 3 bay. 3 bay.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What do
with
those go
touch
for?
and, 13.
Nice.
So
I tell you, besides the ratchets, Matco has the nicest blue toolbox color I've ever seen.
Yes.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
freaking gorgeous, and the trim, the matching trim on the the draw pulls, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I love the blue also, and everything I have, all 4 boxes are all blue and chrome. And it's funny when I get a rep or somebody from Maca riding with me, they come out in my area and they said, I've never seen so many blue, because that's what I end up normally, because they always ask, what's your favorite color? Mine's blue. How about yours? Or
Yeah.
my favorite line is, you can get a blue box to match your eyes.
Well, I don't talk to many Matco guys, but I do see that Matco Michael, he says the same thing on his videos with Clay, that blue is the predominant color that he sells. Because I put a blue box on this truck, it'll sell. He says,
Yep.
I had a green box, it'll sit there forever.
That's awesome.
The only other color that's I really like, and if you put the trim right with it, it looks really good, and that's the Thunderstorm Gray.
Okay.
And it's a grayish color, and if you put a anodized blue trim with that, it just really pops. I got one coming, and I got about 3 more weeks. I got one of those coming, and it's a beautiful box.
Nice.
Actually, I think on one of Clay's intros, he has that box, the Thunderstorm Gray with the blue trim.
Okay.
On there.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful, like I said, I've sold, that's my second one that I sell, because if they say, blue's so common, well then here's Thunderstorm. So
Right.
Yeah. Last Saturday, I was out with Barb. We went and had lunch. Went to the boat place, picked up some new bumpers for the boat, and then I needed a new, one of those anti-fatigue mats. So Harbor Freight's got this nice gray one that I needed to put behind the bar, because the one that I had that I bought somewhere else finally just turned to crap after like 8-9 years. They don't last forever. So we roll in there and we go looking, and I'm like, oh, come here. And I took her down the toolbox aisle, and they've got one of their gigantic icon systems.
Icon,
yeah, but like with everything. So
Right.
it's like 16 feet long.
I think every
And
store has
and
one
it's
of
like
those.
8 or 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
With big giant cabinets on top.
He's got the side lockers on it and all.
Side lock. This one had like double side lockers, and it had like 5 sections, and then up top was like 5 giant opening, cabinets. And it had this huge desktop like work area with all of the plugs and the whole 9 yards. And she just took a look at it and went, "Are you kidding me?" I go, yeah, somewhere out there working on a car is somebody that owns one of these.
Oh, yeah.
So she's looking at the price tags, and she's like, this is like a house. And I'm like, this is the cheap stuff.
You should bring on a tool truck.
Try buying one of these from a big company like Matco or Snap-on. I go, and then you're talking, it's the price of my truck.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you car guys are crazy.
Yeah, it's just 10 easy payments.
Yeah,
10 easy payments of $15,000.
You never talk price. You just talk payments.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, what can you afford? $40 a week? $40 a week is.
Okay.
She went to the center box and she grabbed a drawer. It was probably about a 5-inch deep drawer. Lifted the handle and pulled it, and it just kept going and going and going. She's like, how deep is this thing? And I'm like,
6 inches.
It's huge.
You should have picked her up and put her in it, because it would have probably supported her weight.
Unreal. That's nuts. Who makes that icon stuff for those guys?
I don't know.
More China junk.
When the tools came out, the internet was buzzing, and of course all the comparisons were flying, And we were curious too. So they had some incentive coupons, and I went and I bought I think I bought a 1/2-inch drive ratchet first, and then a 3/8, brought them to the shop. And I said, hey, let's use these things. Let's check them out. I actually brought the 1/2-inch home with me because I didn't have one here. And yeah, they're not bad. I mean, they seem to hold. I don't use it every day, but it's not my go-to. But they did get a lot of favorable reviews, and the wrenches too. And it all depends how you use the stuff, I guess. I don't know.
For the hobbyist with money, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that the Icon isn't that expensive. Yeah, it's more expensive than the Harbor Freight stuff, and then even in the Quinn.
Well, the Harbor Freight stuff is you use it once and you throw it away.
Well, I know a lot of people who use that. They love, for some reason, guys love that rack of anodized sockets.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Because I think we were talking about that because they remember by the color what socket it is. They remember what size it is by the color. I'm like, wow, I don't know, but
It is.
and I've seen a lot of guys use those sockets. But,
They've got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I bought my $7 mat, and then we were gone.
Yeah.
So it was all good. It's funny. I just couldn't believe how big that thing is.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty big.
And that's
So,
only
like, if you wanted to do one of those in Matco, you could. They have like you just kind of assemble piece by piece by piece by piece, whatever you want, right?
Yeah, well, that's all. Those are all piece by piece by piece. I mean,
that's
how you can lay it out. But I mean, like, if I ever get mine really cleaned and show, like, I don't have a hutch. I do have a hutch for mine. I bought one thinking that I was going to use it, but I just, to me, I'm a cluttered person, as you can tell. The hutch would just have so much stuff popped in it.
It always is, yeah.
Yeah. And for me, a lot of guys like the hutch because they have their computer or their scanner set up and they can put a TV monitor in there and, they just close it and lock it and go home. And that's fine. I never really much. Like, mine's laid out where I have a box, a half locker, a box, a half locker, box, half locker, and a box. And mine's 45 feet long, 32 inches deep. And
45 feet?
The width of the house, 38 inches, 38 feet.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's, and,
huge.
That's the way I have it. Now, I do, like, the top boxes that went on top, they're on the other side mounted on the garage. And I'm thinking about putting them up over top because I keep all my manuals and blow molded cases in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so forth. But I'm, like I said, you can lay them out. The biggest thing with ours, the nicest thing with ours, or the biggest thing, is that our drawers are all interchangeable. So you could, if you want to have all 6-inch drawers, you can have 6-inch drawers put in. If you want 1.5-inch drawers, you can put 1.5-inch drawers. Ours aren't cookie cut like Snap-ons and Mac and the Iconic. Those things are cookie cut shape, and you might be able to change 1 or 2 drawers. Like you take out a 2-inch to put in a 4-inch, but we have more drawer selection. Sometimes it gets kind of carried away because when you have 15 different colors and 9 different trims, and you can set out your drawers, and it gets kind of time consuming.
I know me. I'm not the guy who walks into the empty room and fills it. My daughter does that. That's why she went to school, because she's good at it. But like with the toolbox, give me the toolbox. I got to work with it to know how I want to make it better. You know, so I don't have that vision to say, oh yeah, I need a 6-inch, 8-inch, 2-inch, or 1.5-inch. I'd be lost.
Yeah, well, the nice thing, especially now, before it was a little difficult, but we have a configurator on the truck or on our program, and like I said, that's basically a printout, and this one doesn't have, on a 4 you can't you only have a change of power drawers, but you can actually put the drawers in and then have a visual of what it's going to look like.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And like on our app, you could do the same thing. You can go on our app and you can build a toolbox. Just
yeah.
don't hit
That's
the
cool.
don't hit the submit button. 'Cause
Yeah, submit.
just make sure you put my number, and we'll take
Right.
it. We'll make it the 10 easy payments for
Right.
$49.95. But
Yeah, there you go.
but you know, like I said, and you can put different tops. Now, like I said, if the guy later on, this guy said he wants to put a locker on, you know, and then you
Yeah.
and then you can put another locker or a half locker.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I have.
type thing.
I have 2 full lockers, and I set them up. One opens left, one opens right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the good thing is because there's shelves and there's drawers.
Right.
You know. So what I did was I took all of the drawers from both, because I bought them both at the same time, and I
Right.
put them onto the left side locker. And
Uh-huh.
then there's one shelf, so there's actually 2 shelf spaces.
Yeah.
And then I took the shelves that came with it, put them on the right side.
Yeah.
So I have shelves top to bottom.
Yeah.
And then I was able to move the spacing so it's a little tighter at the top, gets bigger as it goes to the bottom. And I have like blow mold cases in there and things that
See,
I want to
like
be able to
on,
just grab.
On ours, like I said, like when you get into a locker, you could build it that way. You could put all shelves. You could put all sliding shelves. You know, shelves that actually slide out.
Oh, wow.
We have drawers. We have a power drawer in there, and we also have a computer drawer, like for a keyboard to go slides out. And you know, like I said, it's sometimes it's great, but sometimes it's like very overwhelming because people look at like, holy crap, you know, because you got so many different options in there. So but hopefully, like I said, I got another guy on the hook. Hopefully I can reel that in and maybe keep that. I like to keep that going. It's
Well, the guy you sell that blue box to, he looked very, very happy.
yeah. Oscar was funny. He was another. I mean, like I said, another guy that on and on. Not, I don't want to say it dragged on, but you know, like I said, it went on and of course, you know, during the time, all this stuff, you know, normally everything is built at the time. They're all built, so it's not like we have a lot of stuff sitting around. So when you order it and it's, you know, confirmed and checked, and you know, you're looking at normally a 2.5 week lead time. But because of everything else going on in the world, it's taken, you know, 4 to 6 weeks. It's a long time to wait for a box sometimes.
Yeah.
You start getting a little antsy because, you know, once the competition hears that this guy is looking at a box, they start bombarding or bringing stuff in, showing that guy.
Blood in the water.
You know, that's the hard part about it. Luckily, Oscar stuck with it and stayed with it.
That's good.
You know, it's kind of funny. They get that new box, and it's funny because they'll want a certain color, and you walk in, and they'll have a different color box, and you're like, dude, I thought you wanted this color, and they go, I mean, I had to get a box. You know, it was burning a hole in their pocket. And then of course, on the other end of that, about 4 weeks. 6 weeks later, they're bitching because they don't have the color they wanted or they didn't get what they want. And that's kind of hard getting somebody out of a new box because of the cost. And, you know, they're all wrapped up with somebody. So, it's easy. Not as easy as getting out. But I've done it. I've bought a guy out and put him in what he really wanted. You don't make.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's hard. You don't make a lot on the backside of that because you have so much money tied up in that one box. But
so you're saying you buy the box from him that he purchased to resell it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's taking a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, they finally get, you know, like I said, and you know, like I said, it's through, you know, Snap-on credit or Mac credit or whoever he bought the box from. So, you know, you're not getting a deal on it. You're rolling out. You're just trying to get out of something.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I don't like doing it, but you know, at the end of the day, all the nickels and dimes add up, you come out okay. But
Sure. It's the service that
Yeah.
counts.
yeah,
That's all there is to it.
so you just try to get them in. Like I said, that particular dealership that Oscar was at has had a very strong Snap-on presence, and it's
Oh,
taken me 6 years,
Really, to make a dent.
and I've sold in the last month I've sold 3 boxes in there.
all
That's
right,
good.
cool.
So it's not an overnight thing, and that's
No.
some people don't realize, but it's persistence and
yeah.
showing up and hopefully giving a guys good service.
How do you do with the
Yeah.
tool sales in that dealership?
It's starting to really pick up. I mean,
Good.
it's starting.
Good.
So, but like I said, it's been a long, tedious road. So,
The hell?
it doesn't, like I said, doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And a lot of guys, sometimes you walk in and you'll have a shop or a place, and man, you're always hoping that there's at least one guy or maybe 2 that love to buy tools.
Yeah.
And there's always those guys that love
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah,
And,
I've met a few of them myself in my day.
yeah, I know. I know. Why do you think I still have a problem? I get told all the time, Brian, you're selling, don't buy.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like I said, it's funny. You can go. That's why, like a lot of the newer guys, they'll say, "Man, I've been going in this place for 6 months and they never bought anything." And I said, "Dude, it's taken years before some places." And
Sure.
that's what they're. I know it sounds weird, but they're waiting to see what you do.
Yeah.
And if you stop showing up,
Well, that's why, like Michael says on his videos, like Clay asks him all the time, like, what do you do if a guy walks into your truck who's not a customer? He's not on a route and he wants to buy something. He goes, because some dealers turn the guy away. They won't deal with him. And Mike's like, I'll deal with anybody. I'll sell them tools, not a problem. And then he's very liberal with his warranty policy. Like he'll take stuff back that he thinks he may not even be able to warranty, but for good faith, because he's, what? I'm building faith with that customer. So he's got a good attitude about it, I think. And, we'll see.
I've got 2 55-gallon drums of stuff that, that
don't know where
be warranted or whatever. And
Take them to the scrap yard.
Yeah.
Take it to the scrap yard, or even I try, like I said, it's hard, but I mean, I got guys that, I've taken other brands, other guys' name on them, just because, like you said, to build and hopefully get the more business.
Just a couple weeks ago, Hamilton Joven, the Snap-on guy that he uses, he had a bag and it was a clear plastic bag with an SK logo on it. And Clay's like, "Hey, what's this?" Yeah, and he says, "Oh, that stuff. It's a new guy in the shop." He says, and he came in. He's working in the business for many years, and he just started at this shop. And he says he came over to me with this bag and said, "Can you warranty this stuff?" And it was, a bunch of different stuff. And he took it. Another one, he just took it. He says, "Yeah, you know what?" He goes, "I know I'm losing on some of this stuff." He says, "But this guy's looking to build a relationship already because he came up to me. He says, and I'm looking to sell." He says, and Clay, a lot of times he'll buy the stuff, from him. He's like, "You don't have to do nothing. Just I've seen him do it on his videos." Like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that too. And
the only fine line with that, and I've had this conversation with guys before, because we're all looking for. There is a end result for that, and like I said, there's a point of where you get stepped on so much or kicked to the curb that you're not going to do it, and And then on the other, it's like, I told a guy today, I have a guy that owes me money and he's been ditching me. And like I said, I'm not going to go chase him down. I'll eventually run into him. I mean, I'll eventually run into him. But, I find it highly incredible that he calls me up because he needs something warranted.
Yeah. That's balls.
And I'm like, hey, I have no problem warranting it. But, dude, it's been like, 8 months since you made a payment.
Yeah.
And, it kind of works both ways. You can.
Sure.
But, and some guys don't understand that. It's kind of like it's hard to build that loyal customer or that thing when you do so much. And some guys will give it to you. And there's some guys that will, like I said, that's why I tell a lot of the newer guys, you have to be careful because you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So,
yeah.
And, but one of the hardest things, but it took me a long time to realize, is if you're just open and up front and tell them how it is, then usually you don't have a problem because, you're not making the rules up as you go.
Yeah.
If you just tell them, hey, this is the way hey, you want me to do all this? This is the way it's going to work.
And be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
it's just like raising kids.
Yeah.
You got to have the rules. You and your wife, you got to have you got to be on the same page and you got to just be consistent. And there's always times you can bend the rules and you can make amends, but for the most part, things have to be kind of understood.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, I had one guy, I went to this shop. I don't know how long it was, but I would run my route, and I still do this. And that's why sometimes, like I said, me getting in at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, but I'll run it and hit everybody. And if you're not there, you'll know that I've been there because I'll slide a flyer through the door or, however, I'll leave something, a flyer or whatever. A lot of places, if they're waiting for something, I'll stick it through the exhaust port in a place, and get it to him. But I had a guy tell me it was like 6:45 and he was getting ready to leave. And I was like, he's like, what are you doing here? And I said, I run my route. And this is you're my last stop and want to drop it off. And I know you got to get out. And next thing you know, the guy comes out and spends $800 with me. So,
wow.
it's just one of those things where you just got to keep plugging along.
Yeah.
Keep going. So
That's cool.
But,
so what's the dream thing to do in retirement when you put that past you? Like, because that's tough work, man. That's really tough work. It really is.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that, like I said, if I can retire, I still want to do something. I mean, I'm hoping I'm able to play around with the stuff. I mean, I love to teach or show the right way. I can't tell you how many kids, I don't want to say kids, but younger guys that try to do something. And, it's like you with the guy showing them how to use the drill index or tapping or whatever, because that stuff's not taught anymore. No, stuff is.
Case in point, that post I put up with those little transfer studs.
Yeah.
I mean, I use those all the time. And it just came to me. I'm like, oh, I got to take a picture of this because, and luckily I found the company on Twitter, but they don't have an Instagram presence. So I couldn't even tag them on there. But, both of you guys had responded to that. Like, guys who know. And there's more guys out there who have no freaking clue in the world.
Yeah.
What that's all about. I mean, I used to take screws, cut the head off and sharpen them to a point to make those things,
Yeah.
I still have some laying around somewhere, but it just makes it so easy.
The ones I use are it's an actual Zeus button.
Yeah.
And it's a countersunk, so it's flat.
Right.
And there's a hole drilled in it, and there's literally a piece of welding wire, 1/8 inch welding wire, sharpened to a point, and and it's pushed down into the hole that was drilled.
Right.
So when you want to mark a hood, you put your mounts where they need to go, and then you stick all these Zeus buttons in that have this little point on it, and you carefully lay the hood down where it's got to be, and then you just go around and just go bam, 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 and you tap it, and it leaves a little dent in the fiberglass or the carbon fiber, and then you know exactly where you got to drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I've had, you know, that, and I can't tell you how many times I've had guys, I've actually brought broken bolt stuff home and, you know, get taken out and put, you know, either because they're too much in a hurry or impatient.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I say, oh, I can have it back to you in 2 days or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's taking that time.
Yeah. My eye in the sky over here just asked me, he liked that question. He wants to know if there's a Matco pension plan.
The only thing that I can say, and I was told by a older distributor one time on you have to say, you know, saving the money, and I was like, oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And I wish I saved when I first started instead of, you know, trying to continue to build, because it's a, you know, like I said,
well, you got to reinvest in your business too. Yeah, you have to reinvest in yourself. Sure.
And you know, like I said, hopefully, you know, technically, really, you know, I guess I can still try. COVID really screwed up a lot of stuff that way for me, but you know, like I said, I'm hoping, if anything, I think I have 5 or 6 years till I have to renew again. And I think I want to try, if I do it again, if I renew, I want to do it for a 225 route, which would be a smaller route, and try to do like 3 days a week.
Okay.
That way I'm at least still out. And
yeah. Well, semi-retirement.
Yeah, I kind of, the guy that was up against me, we had a couple places where I intersect and went into his area and he went into mine. And then of course we came back out and the lines weren't up and down. And I had told them, I knew that he was getting ready to retire. And I told them that I would really like if they could straighten our routes out. And so that when my time came, if I wanted to do a 225, that I would just have drive up Georgia Avenue and come back 28 or 29, you know, just that type of thing.
Doing the deuce and a quarter.
Yep. And
I used to own an Electra like that.
Yeah, deuce and a quarter, baby. That's right.
So hopefully if that works out, then I can do that.
Sure.
And they so when Eric retired, they redid my route and straightened it out. And you know, it worked out. Like I said, it's in my area. Like I said, now I think I only do like, you know, 75 miles a week or something like that. You know,
I guess the core question was, though, does Matco, I don't know about the other tool companies, but do they offer a, you know, like a savings program for the dealers that they could?
No.
Oh, so you're on your own. You got to do a 401 or a IRA or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. They, this year at Expo, we did have a class on that, and I thought it was very good that Matco provided us information. Like I said, I mean, you know, like I said, I already have a money man. I mean, you know, from the family, and I'm fortunate enough that when I was at the dealership, you know, I had a really good 401 plan when I was at the dealership, and so I am a little bit ahead of the game that way. But the funny part is when you realize that, and I'm not a big dog in this, but you know, when you have you know, $500,000 go through your hands every year, and you look back and you got like, you know, $27.95 in the checking account.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that's all going, like I said, between buying tools and reinvesting, and you know,
Right.
it's
So here's the even bigger question, and I'm not trying to get personal with you or anything, but like now in this stage, I'm looking at maybe at a relocation deal. We've been talking about that,
yeah,
to different states, and one of the things I found out, some of the information was from you and from other places, was that Maryland isn't the best place to retire to. So what are you thinking? You going to stay there, or are you thinking about getting the hell out? Because I know I'm going to get the hell out of New York. That's a damn.
yeah.
You know,
We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know. You know, after, you know, when my mom passes, maybe.
yeah, it is time. Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
I hope that's not soon. Sure.
I would, you know, you know, that's kind of weird to answer that, because, like I said, I'd love to. You know, I lived in Oklahoma for a while. I loved it out there.
Oh God, you were a Okie.
Yeah, and I really don't mind Florida. I just hate the summer down there. I mean, I can't live down the summer. It's hot as hell, dude.
You don't have to be outside.
Yeah, well, but again, you know, like I said, who knows?
What about sliding over to Delaware? Because we're just revisiting the Delaware idea too. It's like, you know,
yeah,
that could be nice.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe. Of course, we joke about it, but you know, I know for one thing, when you leave this area, it's hard to come back to this area.
Same as here. Yeah.
Afford what you got.
Right. Same as here. That's exactly right.
And you know, sell this area. It's disgusting on what they say this place is worth. You know what I'm saying?
I know. And I just told my wife, this is one of the conversations we had today. We were in the car a lot today. We were in the car for a lot of hours. So we talked about, I said, you know, one of the things is, you know, with, let's say we do pick up and monumentally clean this place out and move. I said, you know, like, I'm not going to be in the business of doing that again. And that's going to be like the last place. That's where they're going to plant me. So we got to make a good decision here. You know, it's like, we don't have a lot of, like my chiropractor says, he goes, on the football field of life, dude, he goes, you got more yards behind you than you have in front of you. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. It's so graphic. He goes, yeah, well, I'm older than you. It's true. I'm like, I know. You know, it's like, yeah, how much, you know, shit.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, we always joke about, you know, getting a compound and having my own little thing. I'm hoping that, and I've got a couple of customers like this. I'm hoping I can be the old guy shuffling around in the shop, and if I want to go out and, you know, on a kind of a side note, I always thought it was amazing. My dad had a really nice woodworking shop, and you know, he had every kind of saw and sander and all kinds of stuff. And on the weekends, he'd be down there beating and banging, and you hear stuff cutting and sanding and all kind, but you never saw
a finished piece.
And it was funny because you go down there and you see all these wood chips
and cuts.
And so I finally realized, because I do that, because I come here and I play with metal, you know.
Yeah.
I'm grinding, I'm cutting, I'm drilling holes, and I don't have any. I mean, my car's been apart for 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Making sawdust or making, you know, shavings, and I hope that I can kick around in the garage and do that, and maybe make something, you know. But
gotta concentrate.
Yeah,
right. And we were talking about that too. And
it's a blank canvas, and every week there's something else inside it.
Yeah, my wife asked me the other day. She says, really, when you retire, like, what are you going to do? What do you want to do?
Play with cars.
I said, I got another car in me. I definitely got another, couple of projects. I want at least one good one. I said, yeah, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting warmed up, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
My head's all warmed up. My body is saying, "Oh, well, my God."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Why didn't you start this 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
kicked
20 years
myself.
ago, I was getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, I definitely kicked myself in the ass over it, but hopefully.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But Matco did. I mean, like I said, this expo we did have. We had a really good seminar on finances and that stuff, and a lot of guys. I hate to say it, a lot of guys need that help, and that's
Oh, sure.
I joke around and I tell guys, and it's funny because my district manager, he's like, yeah, you gotta go talk to that grumpy guy there. You gotta talk to that old guy. And, I tell him how it is, but it's funny when you go to a regional meeting and you see a new guy the first week there, the first time there. And then 6 weeks later, he's driving in on some brand new F-350 or a Harley Davidson of some sort and talking about taking a vacation. And I keep telling them that money that you collected is not your money. That's the business. You got to take care of the business, and the business will take care of you.
Right.
Guys are usually done, 10 weeks later because they got themselves in hacked with all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So that's crazy.
Unreal.
Why, like I said, I thought it was great with the finance class or that seminar because it hopefully, like I said, it helps those guys take advantage.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been doing. Like John said, with the YouTube, I've been watching ad nauseum the 5 best states to retire, the 5 worst states to retire, the 5 best cities, the 5 worst cities, the 5 counties. Like, holy crap. And I actually found one from North Carolina, which we're thinking of. And the guy really addressed the things that you want to know. Like he talked about the bug situation and the snakes. And he talked about the temperature. And then he talked about he says, how like what John mentioned the other week, like how your utilities are run. He says, we here we use propane or we use split systems for the AC and heat. And now, I think on Long Island must be the oil capital of the world because like nobody else seems to use oil but us. You think you think with Texas over here.
I'm oil.
Interesting things to know, things I didn't know. And then he was talking about obviously, he hit about car registrations. He goes, here's something that no one told me. He said, and he was living in Ohio. He said, your registration, like the South, is based on what the value of the car is. So he said, I was driving a $8,000 car and I was paying $200 a year for the registration. He goes, now I bought, I'm making some money. I bought a $25,000 car and it's costing me like $250 or $280. He says, I think there must be a cap on it because, if you're driving a $50,000 car, a $100,000 car, I don't think it could be a linear scale.
That's weird. That's kind of high too, because like
I'm paying like
my truck. I renewed my truck last year, and it was like $97.
I'm paying like $100 or $200 for 2 years. We have a 2-year registration here.
Yeah, you can do the same thing here.
Yeah, ours is 120.
Yeah,
140.
and then he said,
I'll tell you where they're going to kill you if you come from New York anywhere and move to Florida. When you do your tag change, they stick it in your ass.
Do they?
Oh yeah, I think it cost me I think it was like $300 a car.
Wow.
To convert the first time.
Oh man!
And after that, it's nice and easy, and there's no car, there's no inspection. No inspection.
Right. Well, he was saying that too. He's not a car guy, so what he described sounded like a safety inspection only.
Yeah, we don't even have that.
And I'm like, no big deal, that's no biggie. But so at least I'm seeing these things that are actually a little more real world usable information, things that I want to know about, but yeah, it's tough. We're trying to narrow down to a state, then you want to narrow down to an area, and man, it's really hard. It's hard to do. It's very hard.
Yeah,
just ain't easy.
Just ride it out.
I get, we were at Memorial Day, went to a friend's house out in St. James, and him and my buddy who was there and me, we all know each other for a lot of years. And he said this probably 15 years ago. He says, no, we should all retire and go someplace and buy 3 houses like on the hill, and like we ride our quads down into like the common area, we'll make a bonfire and hang out. And he said it again just the other day. I'm like, you didn't forget that, did you? He goes, no, man, we all got to live like, have the compound where we all live around, we kind of can. I'm like, that's a cool idea. I said, all right.
That's great.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought when in 07 when we had the crash of the markets that we had 3 dozen houses behind us, all bank foreclosures, and I tried so hard to get my dad to buy the one right behind us.
Yeah.
Because it was a Rambler, and
what's a Rambler?
Just a one level.
A ranch.
Like a ranch house. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
a ranch.
Okay.
And I said, and he was like, I don't know. And tell you, till the day he died, up to the minute he died, he'd said that he wished he had done that. Because again, the house that they're in is way too much for my mom. It's it's a lot of house. And, just having her closer. Like I said, all I had to do was take down the fence, and we're starting to build the compound, other than
Exactly. Yeah, you fence in both properties in one common backyard.
Everything's already, and just have one big backyard.
You should have bought it, and you could have rented it out to your daughters as they got old enough, and then you'd have the equity. You would have had the house.
Oh yeah. Well, that's true.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Like if I go to a state where property is cheaper, I don't want a big house. I want something modest. I don't need something big. 3 bedrooms. I said, but I'm thinking about enough property where if I may want to subdivide it and give them a chunk and put up a prefab. Live here.
A couple of years ago, we looked at a house. Barb was like, we need to go look at this house. And I'm like, what? She says it's a big house that's been for sale up the road for years, but it never got sold.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what does that tell you? So we call a realtor. It was completely fenced in. We're talking from the street all the way down the sides, all the way across the back.
Just like here in New York.
7 acres.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
with a big house, a kind of like I'm going to call it a game house, another addition, which was like a gourmet kitchen, and like this guy had a couple of card tables and a pool. So it was like a party house. Right. And then there was a couple of really nice sheds, and it had a huge workshop, about 3,000 square foot workshop with like 18-foot ceilings, and it had a 16-foot roll-up door that you could pull like a tour bus in. Nice. Concrete floor, and then behind that was an actual home gym. Wow. There's a stream running through the property, and this guy's kids were deep into baseball, so he literally built a full-on baseball diamond in the back with a backstop, bleachers, a dugout. The whole deal, for his kids. But I didn't like the house. Barb wanted to get this place, and it was going for like $500,000.
Yeah.
And it had started at like $1 million and worked its way down.
Right.
But the weird part is the house was like a Long Island house, which are typical like 8-foot ceiling, just kind of like what we grew up in.
Right.
But the house that I live in is cathedral ceilings. There's no ceiling. As a matter of fact, the garage is the lowest ceiling I've got.
Uh-huh.
It's 9 feet. Everything else is 12 feet and higher, or literally the sheetrock is attached to the trusses that make my roof.
Yeah.
So I've got these gigantic high ceilings and archways throughout this whole house. It's wide open, high and tall. I walk into this house and it's regular 8-foot, like northern New York ceilings. you know, and like the ceiling fan, like if you're tall, you're gonna walk into the blade. You know what I'm saying? And I felt confined and
Yeah, closed
creepy.
in.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the property was worth more, I think, than the house. There was like a couple of additions that were put on, and they were kind of hokey the way it was done. There was like 3 staircases and just stuff that I didn't like. Like in the living room, it had this like really cheap, like one of those floating laminate floors where they put like foam under it.
Yeah.
So it looks like fake wood, but when you walk on it, it moves.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
sure,
like,
yeah.
I'd have to put $100,000 into making this house nice.
Yeah.
So I walked away, you know. Come to find out now, based on Zillow, it's worth like 1.7 million.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it for like 450,000, and really haven't done much with it. I guess I don't know, but now it's worth a boatload of money.
Yeah.
My wife's like, you see, you should have bought that. You could have had your whole race car shop. Could have had your whole aquarium business. All of this stuff.
Baseball.
Could have played baseball. What I wanted to do was, well, she wanted to continue the backstop to make a complete enclosure, all out of chain link, and she wanted to buy a couple of monkeys.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, what? She goes, yeah. She goes, we could get a monkey or two and build like a monkey habitat where the baseball diamond was. And she wanted to get a couple of goats. And I'm like, what are you, nuts?
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
Well, that didn't happen.
2 days later, you'd have an alligator in there.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, there is a pond. There's a natural pond, and there's a stream that feeds that pond. Comes in one side, goes out the other. So there's a pretty good chance there's a gator in there or not. They seem to be everywhere there's water here, you know?
Yeah,
so,
crazy.
Nuts. But the whole place is completely fenced in. And I don't know if this guy got a variance or something. It's a 9-foot fence.
Wow.
And then it's like all wrought iron in the front, and it's got this like black material that's kind of woven through it.
Oh yeah.
So you can't see in.
Right.
So like the only way you can see anything is when you pass the gate. It's got 2 wrought iron gates, and as you're driving by, you can look through the gate.
Right.
But that's it, you know. And so the whole place, all 7 acres, is completely fenced in.
You never know. Maybe the guy had some juice in the county or the town, and you know he
Might have been.
knew how to get stuff done.
Yeah, but there was she was looking at it as the overall what's here. Oh my God, we could do this, and this. I'm looking at the mechanicals. There were 3 air conditioning systems for the main house.
Wow.
Then there was an air conditioning system for each of the other buildings. 2 of them where the shop gym was. One where I call it the game house. And every one of them was one of those cheap looking contractor air conditioning compressors outside where the cheap paint that they put on from the factory has already rotted away.
Yeah.
So the whole upper fan grill is already rusted.
Right.
You know, and then I'm opening up closets and I'm finding, you know, the air handlers, and they're general contractor air handlers. They're not anything of quality. And I'm like, this is the kind of thing where I could be putting money into this place on a monthly basis, fixing stuff. You know, it did not have city
change
water.
all that over.
Right. It didn't have city water or sewer. So there was a leaching field. There's 3 wells.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, I said, this is a place that it's going to take a lot of money every month just to keep it running.
How far down do you guys have to go for drinkable water?
It depends.
Okay.
Depends on where you are. You could go 50 feet. You can go 100 feet. You know, depends. And then most of the water that comes out of the ground in Florida really isn't in great condition to begin with.
Yeah.
From the research I've done, it comes from the north and works its way south. So as it comes through Georgia, it picks up all kinds of stuff with the Georgia clay and all of the other impurities and calcium and things like that. It's like there's a lot of stuff in the water.
Yeah.
And then Florida is littered with phosphate mines. Florida is a huge, huge area where they did a lot of phosphate mining. So you get a lot of that stuff, a lot of that in the wash. So if you're going to do a well, you got to do a good filtration system. Anywhere you go here and you see people that like they'll punch a well to do their sprinkler system. They've got heavy iron, rust iron stains all over their nice white vinyl fence.
Right.
There's a lot of iron in the water. It's like, I'm so glad I'm on city water. I don't have to deal with anything but chloramines is how they disinfect, which is real easy to get rid of that.
Right.
You know, good
very
carbon
strong
filtration. Yeah, but good carbon filtration gets rid of that stuff right away.
Yeah, it drove me crazy when I was down there a couple of weeks ago, and you could really taste the chlorine.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, man, I was like, I'm gonna go get some walked in. I said, this is okay. I'll just get by. I'll buy.
Yeah, they chlorinate.
I tell you though, when you wash your hair, it comes out squeaky clean.
It does.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah, no, they chlorinate all water up here too, and they also put fluoride in it. So
Yeah. You know what's weird? That reminds me of something. When I used to visit, well, sometimes at my grandmother's, but always at my cousin's in Flushing, when you would open up the tap and fill up a glass of water, it would almost be like it was carbonated.
It's like aeration, right? It's the bubbles, right? That's Queens.
Right. Yeah. In Queens, it was opaque, and then it would
clear up,
effervesce and clear up.
I had the same thing when I was in Queens.
What is that?
I don't know exactly because I'm not a water expert, but I know it is a Queens thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they lived right there, right by Flushing Meadow Park.
Right. Just went by there today.
So strange. I was afraid to drink the water whenever I went to my cousin's.
Fine to drink. It was good to drink. Yeah, but it didn't look weird.
I mean, the water at my grandmother's was amazing because she lived on Mulberry Street. And when you turned on that cold water tap, that water was ice cold coming out of the tap.
Yeah.
And that fluoride actually gave it a really good taste.
The
water at my grandmother's apartment was phenomenal. I like that New York water, but I guess that's how you make good pizzas too.
Yeah, probably part of it. Bagels too.
3 blocks up, 3 blocks up. That's where Lombardi's is, and it's the same water.
Right.
So that was it. Since 1905, that's the water that made the world's first pizzeria pizzas.
Right.
And they're still doing it today.
Crazy.
All right.
That's it.
Well, I'm gonna take out the garbage and collapse.
Yeah, I gotta get ready.
I gotta get up
in
tomorrow.
This short week. This week is crazy week, because being off Monday and trying to get caught up. Luckily, like I said, having that toolbox cell really helped. But
that's great. Yeah,
it was a good weekend for me. We got a lot done on the car.
Yeah, I saw some of your posts there.
I got a whole bunch of joints all welded up already.
You got
looking good.
I'll have to send the Mustang down.
Yeah, there you go. In a couple of years, we're taking appointments. We're taking appointments for 2026.
Yeah, take appointments.
I gotta keep rocking and rolling on this thing so I can get it back to the paint shop this summer, and then start the next one as soon as this one is drivable and tested on the road and doesn't overheat or have any gremlins. Then the next one gets going.
Oh, you should be doing 2 at the same time, John.
Actually, trust me, I know this thing's going to wind up being in the body shop for over a month. During that time, I will be setting up the chassis table in the other shop to get going on the black car.
Yeah. Because I'd send you a little stool with wheels. That way you can roll from one end of the shop to the other. So save you on walking.
Yeah. Right. That's funny.
Yep, there you go.
All right.
We'll get you an extra wide seat so you have a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Harley saddle.
Ah, gross.
Oh,
yeah,
look at that. Looks
I
like you
grabbed
get to work now.
I just grabbed the piston on it. It's all filthy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
Lou
right.
was gonna say when he was gonna have Antron on, was it? Is that coming
He
up?
didn't say no.
He didn't say when, but he said he
No.
was going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll have to send something out, see if I can find out.
Ugh.
Oh well, all right, guys.
All right. So yeah, for Lewis Lee, Ray Guarino, Chassis John, Matt Coleman, Brian, we were playing in traffic with the Martins tonight. That was a lot of fun.
Very good.
Yeah,
Check the
very
replay.
good.
It'll only be 2.5 hours long. Well, hey, this Sunday we're having I got Steve Magnante back on Motor Mouth Radio.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
cool.
wait.
He's
Can't
got a
wait.
new show dropping on Monday night where they're going to feature his model builds. So he's
Yeah.
been teasing it on Instagram.
What
I saw
channel
that.
is that going to be on?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Tune in.
I'm
and
very
you'll-
interested in being able to see that.
I think it's probably a private endeavor because since Junkyard Gold got canceled, I think he's getting maybe a little bit by that network kind of conglomerate where, hey, you know what? Sorry.
Speaking of that, the other night, what's his name? The other guy from oh my God, Roadkill.
Yeah.
Freiberger.
Freiberger, yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting at my desk, and my phone lights up, and it was a Instagram thing. Said Freiberger's going live now.
Yeah.
So I clicked it, and he was finished filming for the day, and he was in his hotel room, and he just decided to go live, and he was answering questions. And I kept putting in, what happened with Junkyard Gold? Why aren't you doing Junkyard Gold anymore? What happened with Steve? What's going on with Steve? We want to see Steve on TV. And he refused to answer any of my questions. And I know he was seeing them.
Yep.
But he didn't have anything to say about Junkyard Gold or Steve or anything. So I guess the powers that be are telling him put the kibosh on that.
I was going to say, I'll tell you this. I have no love lost for Freiberger. He's not my favorite guy. I had some battle with him a couple of years ago, and I just said, screw this guy. I like Finnegan. Yeah. I like what he does.
Finnegan's a great guy. Yeah,
but
he's fun.
To his credit, I think it may be just like you said, the network might have said, listen, no low contender, keep your mouth shut, possibly. And if not, hey, he's still a dick then. So then my contention stands. What can I tell you? I don't know.
It's funny. Finnegan, I like Finnegan a lot. I've spoken to Finnegan. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's normal. He's one of the normal ones,
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally
he's awesome.
agreed.
Yeah,
so
I watch all of his stuff.
We'll find out on Sunday what's up with Steve. We'll see what he's got to say.
Yep. I'll be there.
We'll see then. All right, fellas. So with that in mind, good night, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Sounds